Hello, welcome back to Litigation Speaks. This is Richard Claywell. Which I think is an interesting topic today. One of the questions that arises when we do evaluation is, if this needs to be updated, can I get a copy of your templates and do the update myself? So I want to talk about how we would deal with that with a client so they understand what they're really asking about. In order to do evaluation and to be credentialed in doing evaluation, there's one organization you can take a 40-hour course, no real work experience in doing evaluations, and you can get a certification. There's another one, more strenuous, that's 132 hours. Takes quite a bit of time to do that. There's multiple tests, whereas the other one's just one test. So, and you have to have 10,000 hours of work experience doing business valuation. So there's a wide range in the certifications that people have and the knowledge and experience for doing a business valuation. The intent is to teach people how to do a business valuation. When we talk about that, we're talking about the valuation fundamentals, the techniques, the theory behind that. They want to teach the asset methodologies, the income methodologies, the market methodologies. How do you do the industry analysis? How do you do the economic analysis? What actually is a financial theory? And if applicable, do you take a marketability and or a minority interest discount? And do you understand the case laws in all of this? So those are some of the things that we're taught and we learn how to do through our careers when we do a business valuation. So let's assume I've done a business valuation for you. I've issued you a report. You take the report to whoever and they utilize it, and everybody's pleased and happy with what's going on. Now, years down the road, you need to have an update to your valuation. So let's assume that the company hasn't changed or there's minimal changes that have happened since the prior valuation was done. How do those changes impact all of these items that I just mentioned? If you don't have the expertise and you don't do this on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to know how these changes in the economy, in the industry, in your financial performance, how does that impact the asset methods that are out there, and which methods do they impact? Same thing for the market and the income approach. What's being impacted by that? Unless you have the expertise to understand that, you're not going to know how you need to handle those updates that are going on with that. So what ends up happening is you, using my templates, have done a valuation and you issue this to a third party. Let's assume it's for some sort of financing that you want to get. So a bank gets this, and at some point in time down the road, the bank says, this is not right. So now the question becomes, if you've done any damage to the bank, your company's gone out of business, you're in a failure of some type, you can't repay the loan. Whose fault is that? Is that your fault, or is that my fault? So now who's responsible for paying the note and any other damages that the bank may have incurred? I'm going to argue that it should be your fault. You're the one that said that you knew how to do all these types of items. You have represented that you have the expertise in it. I probably realize that you don't, but you've represented that you have, so therefore I give you my template. So eventually the bank will sue you over this. When the bank sues you, guess who else the bank's going to sue? They're going to sue me, because they're going to say, well, Claywell, you should have known that this particular client did not have the expertise to do this properly. So I have aided you in filing false statements with a bank. They got a term for that. It's called bank fraud. So now I get to defend myself in a lawsuit for something that I really had nothing to do with, except trying to be nice and give you a copy of my template. So your valuation individuals typically are not going to give you a copy of their template. There's too much exposure. You don't understand what needs to be done. You don't understand how to do it. And it's just a problem waiting to happen. So that's the answer to the question we get on occasion. Can I have a copy of your templates? And the answer is no. And that's why we don't do that. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. Would like you to subscribe to me on LinkedIn, LN at Richard Claywell, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any particular topics you're interested in, drop me an email, put a note on LinkedIn, give me a call, and we'll address some of your issues also. Thank you for being here today. Appreciate it.